Ever hit the last night of a cruise, opened your folio, and felt that sudden jump scare gratuity adjustment? You've spent a week relaxing, only to find yourself standing in a massive guest services line at 11 p.m. because the cruise line's small charges suddenly added up to a big problem. I've sailed them all, from budget-friendly party ships to high-end boutique liners, and I am ranking them from worst to best for 2026. Because by the time we hit number one, you'll see why smooth tech beats an unlimited buffet. Stay tuned for secret number 7. It's the one brand I expected to hate, but one specific ship changed everything. Number 10, MSC Cruises. MSC has the most stunning ships on the water, but they are currently the case file line of the industry. Most cruisers think they're getting a steal because of the low fares, but the truth is, you often pay for it in administrative stress. I recently boarded the MSC Divina after being promised a specific onboard credit. When I walked up to guest services, they had absolutely no record of it in their system. Instead of a quick fix, it turned into a week of rules first, conversations where I felt like I was arguing with a bank rather than a vacation host. I actually had to build a digital case file of screenshots and emails just to get what was in my contract. If you're constantly babysitting your own folio, it's not a vacation, it's an administrative job. You'll find yourself eating cold pasta in the dining room while worrying about whether that automatic service charge is being applied correctly in the background. It creates a trust gap that's hard to ignore when you're trying to relax. On MSC, surprise has a habit of arriving late and costing you money. The ships look like $1 billion, but the back-end service can feel like a bargain bin experience. Pro tip: if you book MSC, bring a physical folder with every printed promotion, email, and credit confirmation you've received, and check your digital folio every morning at 8 a.m. to catch errors before they become permanent. Number 9, Carnival Cruise Line. Carnival is the only line where I've packed earplugs and still felt underprepared for the sheer volume of the experience. While their fun ships are famous for a reason, their older fleet creates a massive vibe management challenge for you. Most passengers think they're signing up for a relaxing sea day, but the truth is, on the older ships, one pool deck becomes the living room for 3,000 people. I remember being on a smaller Carnival ship, trying to find a quiet corner to read, only to have a cruise director scream into a microphone for a hairy chest contest, just 3 feet from my chair. It's a 24/7 pep rally you never RSVP'd to, and there is often no escape. The crowd stacks so hard that your relaxing day turns into a logistical battle for a deck chair or a spot at the buffet. This leads to total overstimulation where you leave the cruise feeling like you need a week of silence just to recover from the fun. But here's the catch: the newer Excel-class ships actually fix this. Ships like the Mardi Gras use zones to pull the chaos away from the main drag, giving you actual pockets of peace that the older ships simply can't offer. Pro tip: to avoid the crowd stack, only book Carnival's Excel-class ships, Mardi Gras, Celebration, or Jubilee, which are designed to distribute thousands of people without the constant microphone shouting. Number 8, Holland America Line. Holland America is the first time you'll realize you've been holding your breath on every other cruise line. While people joke that it's for grandparents, the reality is that it is calm by design, and for a 2026 traveler, that is a rare luxury. Most cruisers think a calm ship is a boring ship, but the truth is, choosing quiet doesn't mean you're missing the action. On a recent sailing through Alaska's Glacier Bay, the silence was the best part of the trip. There were no poolside DJs or loud announcements, just the sound of glaciers calving and a park ranger's quiet commentary over the speakers. It feels like a live national park documentary playing out in front of your balcony. If you cruise to recharge, this is pure relief. However, there is a ceiling to that calm. After 10 o'clock or 11 p.m., the ship powers down in a way that's perfect for noise-sensitive travelers, but a total deal-breaker for anyone chasing a midnight buzz. You'll find yourself in a ghost town if you want to party late. But for those who value an unrushed morning coffee on a deck with no crowds, this is the gold standard of relaxation. Pro tip: Holland is the strongest case for an Alaska itinerary. Book it for the Glacier Bay access, but avoid it for Caribbean sailings if you want any semblance of a high-energy nightlife. Number 7, Margaritaville at Sea. With Margaritaville at Sea, The brand name on the hull matters far less than the specific ship you're standing on. Most people shop this line by price alone, but the truth is, you can accidentally book two completely different vacations. I've been on the Paradise, and it felt like a time capsule from the early 90s, dated rhythms, tight flow, and a vibe that felt like it had lived a few too many lives. I spent the whole trip quietly lowering my expectations just to keep the day smooth. But then I stepped onto the Islander, and everything changed. The regular stuff finally clicked. The service moved, the food tasted intentional, and the quietly making noise venues felt like a legitimate boutique experience. For the first time, I wasn't grading a budget line on a curve. But here's the warning. The brand is currently in a transitional phase. If you end up on the older ships, you'll find yourself dealing with dated cabins and crowded corridors. The Islander proved the brand can be premium, but the rest of the fleet is still playing catch-up. Pro tip: if you want the Margaritaville vibe without the budget headache, only book the Islander. It's the only ship in the fleet that currently delivers a modern, functional experience. Number 6. Princess Cruises. Princess has mastered the frictionless cruise through their medallion technology, proving that smooth tech can actually beat a massive buffet. Most passengers think a cruise is defined by the activities, but the truth is, it's defined by the lack of friction. I remember walking down a hallway on a Princess ship with my hands completely full of coffee and bags, and as I approached my cabin, the door just unlocked and opened for me. No fumbling for a keycard, no pocket digging in a swimsuit. It's one of those little moments where you realize the ship is actually paying attention to you. You can sit in a quiet corner of Deck 7, tap your phone for a drink, and a server will find you via GPS without you ever needing to say where you are. It totally cuts out the scavenger hunt vibe of cruising. The only drag: Princess loves vacation math. They have a tiered system: Standard, Plus, and Premier. And if you hate calculating the ROI of every drink or Wi-Fi session, you'll feel that gentle checkout screen energy hovering in the background all week. Pro tip: use the Ocean Ready app to finish 100% of your digital paperwork at home. It allows you to bypass the terminal lines and walk straight onto the ship, making your embarkation day feel like a breeze. Number 5. Virgin Voyages. Virgin Voyages is the real price of freedom on the water because it finally stops treating you like a walking ATM. Most cruisers are so used to nickel and diming that they don't know what to do when it stops. I sat down for a multi-course dinner, and when the meal was over, the server just smiled and walked away. There was no upsell speech, no specialty dining upcharge, and no bill to sign. For a second, I didn't know what to do with my hands because I was so used to the checkout moment at every meal on other lines. The whole ship runs differently. There's no classic main dining room funnel where everyone gets pushed into the same 2-hour window. It feels looser and more like a land-based resort. And the adults-only tag isn't just a marketing gimmick. It means less traffic, less negotiating for space, and fewer little interruptions that yank you out of vacation mode. But here's the catch: the calendar will humble you. Because there's no buffet, the restaurants fill up fast. If you don't book your dining the second the app opens, you'll be eating at 9:45 p.m. like you lost a bet. Pro tip: lock in one C-day dinner time the absolute minute your booking window opens. That single click decides whether you're eating at 6 p.m. or waiting until nearly midnight. Number 4. Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean is essentially a floating city, but a floating city comes with very strict city rules. Most passengers think the ship is packed because of the sheer number of people, but the truth is, it's just synchronized humans. I've walked into Central Park on an Oasis-class ship, and for a moment, the real plants and winding pathways made me forget I was on a ship. But then you hit the peak hours. If you try to go to the 7 p.m. show, the 8 p.m. dinner, and the 9 p.m. breakfast, you will be convinced the ship is overcrowded. I treat Royal like crowd physics. I flip the timing. I grab the earlier show, eat a later dinner, and do my breakfast while half the ship is still asleep. Suddenly, the packed ship feels private. Royal's whole thing is building a city and then daring you to get bored in it. From surf simulators to rock walls, the entertainment is so massive that a weak port day won't wreck your week. But if you hate doing even a tiny bit of rhythm planning, this ship will wear you out. Pro tip: flip the timing on everything. Hit the buffet 30 minutes before the rush and book the matin shows to have the pool deck all to yourself during the evening sets. Number 3. Disney Cruise Line. Disney charges Disney money, and then they spend the first 24 hours of your trip making you feel like it was completely justified. Most cruisers think Disney is only for families with toddlers, but the truth is, their adults-only spaces feel more protected than any other line. I've watched grown adults set alarms on vacation just to grab a reservation at Palo or Remy before they disappear. Once you're in, you realize the service is on another level. Your room feels thought through. The nightly show has no business being that good for something you didn't pay extra for, and the rotational dining is a masterclass in logistics. You rotate restaurants every night, but your servers rotate with you. They know your name, your favorite drink, and your dietary needs by day 2. So you aren't spending your evenings negotiating with a new waitstaff. It unlogs the whole experience. However, if you are using the family magic, the character meets and themed kids clubs, you are paying a massive premium for a vibe you wouldn't fully utilize. It's the most complete, big cruise experience, provided you're willing to pay the character tax. Pro tip: if you want a quiet Disney experience, spend your sea days at the Quiet Cove pool. It's strictly 18 plus and feels like a completely different, high-end cruise ship hidden inside the family one. Number 2. Celebrity Cruises. Celebrity Cruises is currently my number 1 pick because it delivers a boutique hotel feeling without the character tax. But it's been flirting with some dangerous habits lately. Most passengers think a premium line means everything is included, but the truth is, the fee creep is starting to show. When I first sailed Celebrity, I realized I'd stopped clutching my bag like a lifeboat. I wasn't bracing for the usual friction. A crew member said my name like we'd met before in the Edge-class ships, with that incredible magic carpet moving platform. Felt like the future of travel. The vibe is modern, the spaces feel adult, and the whole week runs with a quiet precision without you needing to manage it. But the spell cracks when you have to ask, is that included? More than once a day. It's not about things costing extra. It's about the feeling of being nickeled creeping into a premium brand. Despite that, when Celebrity is on, nothing feels more seamless. The less you have to recheck what's included, the more it feels like the crown of the industry. It's a vacation that doesn't make you babysit the details. Pro tip: decide early what matters to you: Wi-Fi, drinks, or specialty dining. And lock in an all-included package before you board to avoid the fee creep noise during your actual trip. At the end of the day, your cruise is either going to be a week of work where you manage the details or a week of vacation where the ship manages you. Whether you want the high-energy floating city of Royal Caribbean or the modern luxury of Celebrity, the key is knowing the rules before you step on the gangway. Do you agree with MSC being at the bottom? Let me know in the comments which line is your number 1 for 2026.